There we go. Get our next slide up. So I do a lot of psychology training with people. I do a lot of people skills, and understanding how your brain works and what it does is really important. And our brain is a bit of a supercomputer. The information that we give it, it will act on. And it will take things and work and run with them. So that your beliefs and your thoughts are really, really important, and the way you act and how you say things to yourself and how you think all the time. So as Gandhi said, our beliefs become our thoughts become our words become our habits become our values, and our values become our destiny. So today I just want to try and give you some top tips and things about how we can form some new habits and how you can be a bit more positive in your approach and what we do. So talking about right now and what's happening, we're trying to find a new norm and a new normality at the moment. And that's really important because things aren't the same as they used to be. We can't carry on quite as we used to do. Some things have got to change. So my first 3 top tips for you really are: focus on what you can control. If you can't control it, there's no point worrying and panicking about it because there's not much you can do about it. Just focus on the things that you can. So in your business, if at the moment you've lost a lot of your business, there's a lot of business disappeared, a lot of your regular clients, etc., have disappeared, then just have a sit down and think, well, what else can we do? Is there anything different can you do? Can you pivot into doing something else, creating something else? If not, just make sure you keep in touch with all your clients, potential clients and customers. A quick phone call every now and again, just to see how they're doing, what's happening with them, have a chat. It works wonders just to keep in touch with people. Get rid of negative people. If you're on Facebook all the time and you've got lots of people moaning and negative stuff on it, then mute them for 30 days. It's the best button on Facebook, is that mute for 30 days button. Just get them out of your timeline so we don't see it. Don't compare yourself with others, concentrate on you. So again, there's a lot of people who will be telling you how great it is for them on the outside, and your inside is cheering up thinking, oh, well, it's not working like that for me. It's not working. How do I do that? Just concentrate on you and what you can do. Okay, don't try and compare. Everybody's in different situations. Everybody's working in different ways. Everyone's got different things going on in the background. So concentrate on you. Don't get sucked into thinking just because other people are doing fantastic or are doing this, that you need to be doing it too. You've got to find the things that work for you and slow it down. One of the things we always do when we get into panic mode or things happen is we tend to try and speed up, and we go into automatic. And sometimes it's really good just to slow down, take a pause, have a good think about what's going on, what do I need to do, what's really effective for me, and make sure that you do the right things and make the right decisions. For me, I'm a very big believer in being productive and not busy. So I see a lot of people being very busy and doing hours and hours of work and doing this and doing that, but they're not really getting much done. So it's about being productive. So just sit back and think about the productive things. What are the things we really need to do? What are the things that are going to make a difference to me? What are the things that are going to make a difference to my clients and to my customers? And concentrate on doing those things, because they're the things you can control. They're the things that are going to make a great difference. So going on to the psychology and we're going to look at the self-concept really today. And I want to talk about 3 different parts. I want to talk about your self-image, your self-esteem, and your self-ideal. And by doing that, we're going to look at visual, auditory, and kinesthetic ways of helping yourself keep positive. Okay, so we're going to use your natural learning styles to be able to do that. And mindset is something that's really up to you. Okay, if you want to have a positive mindset, you can do it. If you want to have a negative mindset, that's just as easy. Now, we were all born with just 2 fears in life. Okay, there are only 2 things that we're born with a fear of. Everything else you've learned to be scared of. And the first thing we're born to fear is falling. Now, the reason we do that is because back in the day when we were apes, we used to live up in trees. And we had to make sure that just before we were going to sleep, we wouldn't fall out of the tree. So if you've ever found yourself when you're just about to doze and go to sleep and you get that judder and you wake yourself up, that's your fight or flight part of the brain, the old part of the brain, just making sure that you're in a safe position. And the other thing we don't like is loud noises. And that's basically because that was what we used to get from animals chasing us. If you got a roar or something coming at you when you're an ape man or something, then you knew it was dangerous and you ran. So just think about that for a minute. Those are the only two things that your brain fears. Everything else has been put into your head by you or somebody else. Now, they're what we call self-limiting beliefs, because we tell ourselves we can't do things. We tell ourselves, oh, I can't do that. I can't, oh no, I can't do presentations up in front of 100 people. I'd get far too flustered. Oh, I can't learn to do the violin. I can't learn French, or I'm rubbish at maths. We tell our brain these things, and what your brain does is it acts on it. It says, okay, if you can't do it, that's great. I'll just tell the rest of the brain you can't do it, and you won't be able to do it. And 80% of the things that we tell ourselves are negative or false. 80% of what we tell ourselves. So we need to try and change that. We want to try and make a difference, and we want to be more positive with the things that we say and the things that we do. Now, there's an old computer term called GIGO, and that was basically garbage in, garbage out. So if you put garbage into a computer, you're going to get garbage out. And it's the same with your brain. If we keep saying negative things, you'll get negative things back out. Okay, so what we want to try and do is make ourselves as positive as possible. And our brain has what we call neural grooves, and they're habits. They're the things that we do all the time. So, if you drive to work, you'll drive to work the same way all the time. If you go to work on a train or a bus, you'll probably have a seat that you like to sit on. When you go home at night, you'll have your chair that you sit on. You'll all have your habits and things that we do. And we form a habit by doing something for about 21 days. And after that, the brain's formed a neural groove, and it's set and it's comfortable. So your challenge over the next 21 days is, what can you do to make yourself more positive? What can you do to change the things that you do? And I want you to think about what your self-limiting beliefs are. So what's your ball and chain? What stops you from achieving? What's stopping you at the moment from pivoting and doing something else that could make you more money? What opportunities are out there, and what might stop you from doing them? So think about where your self-limiting beliefs have come from. Try and get an understanding of them. Was it somebody else who's put this seed in your mind? Is it just you who's put it into your mind? But have a think about it. See where it's come from, and then we can start to see what we can do about it. So how do you change? Well, it's not about what's on the outside, it's about what's on the inside. So if any of you are around my age, and when computers were first sort of coming out into the home, and we used to get a computer magazine, and it would have a program in it that you could sit and write out, and you'd spend half a day typing this program and making sure you got it all written down. And if you're really lucky, at the end of the day, it would work, and this ball or something would go boom, boom, boom across the screen, and we'd go, yay! But sometimes it didn't work because we'd made one mistake somewhere, and it just said fail. And the first thing you do is you get hold of the screen and you'd be shaking the screen. What's gone wrong? What are you doing? And that's not where the problem is. The problem isn't on the outside. The problem's on the inside. It's in the computer chips and things. That's where the issue is. And so that's what we need to do. We need to change ourselves from the inside. Okay. So, sometimes we go on holiday and we come back with all our nice tan and our new clothes and everything. And we go back to work and everything's brilliant for a day or two. But the things on the inside haven't changed. So it soon gets back into the habit of all the fears, and all the things on the inside will come back. So we need to make sure that we change ourselves from the inside out. So things can be relearned. So positive things happen to positive people. We often call positive people lucky. Oh, they're really lucky to get that job, or they're really lucky to be in that position. But if you actually went and looked at them, what happens with them, what you'll probably find is they put an awful lot of work into it. They make sure that they're lucky by doing lots of positive things, putting the work in, doing things they need to do. And it's all about mindset. It's all about the things you tell yourself and the things that we do. So I want you to start telling yourself that you believe in yourself. I want you to start picturing yourself in different positions. I want you to picture your goals and things like that. And I want you to say it as well. So I want you to believe you're worth what you earn, believe you can pass the exam, believe in yourself, tell your brain you deserve success, reprogram the neural grooves, visualize your goals, see them, have pictures of them, write them down all the time, Think it and do it. Okay, if we're positive, the more positive you can be, the more positive things will happen. So we're going to look at our self-image to start with. Okay, and this is the visual side of the learning and teaching the brain. So the picture you see is the picture you will be. So this is where your goals are really important. And it's not just having a bit of an idea of a goal, it's really setting the goal in stone and seeing it. So, you know, if your goal is to earn X amount of money each month so that you can have a holiday, a new car, new shoes, new things for the kids, whatever it is you want, I want you to really see it and believe it. So we need to, if you've got a holiday you want to go on, a new house you want, get a picture of it. Try and get a picture of something from somewhere and make sure the pictures are on your wall in your office and things. If you can make your goals as visual as possible with pictures around the house that you can see all the time, then your brain's taking it in. It's, oh yeah, that's what we're working towards. That's why we're doing it. That's why I'm giving you the extra energy. All those type of things will start to work for you. So the clearer you can make it and the more detail you can put on your goals, the better it is for your brain to help it work. Okay, it's a bit like, you know, if I was to say to somebody, oh, I want to go and watch a film tonight, what would you suggest? And you know, there's so many different types of films and things out there that it's really hard just to guess one. But if I told you I wanted to watch a British comedy that was about an hour and a half and had my favourite actor and actress in and told you all the details about it, it hones it down and you'd have a much clearer picture of what you want to give me. And that's what we need to do with our brain. So give your brain really clear goals. Put the pictures up, have positive sayings on your walls, and visualize meetings and presentations before you do them. So if you're going to do a call with somebody over the next week or a Zoom meeting or something with somebody and it's a bit of a pitch for work or whatever, just sit down for a few minutes beforehand and look at it in your head. Think how the meeting's going to go. Who's going to say what? How are you going to present it? What points you want to get across? Get your brain in gear for it, because your brain's already got a clue of what's going to go on and what's going to happen. It will, you know, the reaction is much easier for it than going into fight or flight in the meeting and panicking. So that visualization is really good, and it's a really important tool for us to use. Self-esteem. Okay, this is a big one, self-esteem. We have around 1,500 thoughts a day, and 95% of them are negative. Negative thoughts lower your immune system. Okay, the more negative things we tell you, the worse we get. We need to make sure that we're talking positive to ourselves. Okay, and you can see this. It's called auto-suggestive listening. It's what you tell your brain. Now, you know, not a great time to use this one, but how often have you woken up in winter and you're all cold and sniffy and you've got a bit of a cold and you go, oh no, I've got a real bad cold coming on, I'm going to get the flu. And what happens over the next 2 days? You get a really bad cold or you get the flu, because you've given your brain an order. You've told your brain, oh no, I've got a cold coming on. So your brain says, okay, that's fine. I can relax. We can let this happen, and it'll do it. And your brain is a bit like the submarine with the captain of the submarine. You know, and he gives the orders out, and the orders go down. So it's dive, 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 and the guy next to goes dive, 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 and the guy down there goes dive, dive, dive. You know, and it gets passed on from one to another to the guy who actually presses the button to make it happen. And that's how your brain works. Whatever you tell your brain, it's going to do. We have over 100 billion brain cells, and we use about 2% of our brain capacity at the moment. Most of our brain capacity is still unknown on how it works and what we do with it. But what we do know is the auto-suggestive listening can really work. So, you know, you'll see a lot of sports stars and things now before they go into action. You can hear them talking in their head and making themselves positive, saying positive things to themselves. So really make sure you try and listen to what you're saying to yourself over the next few days and try and make it as positive as possible. Heterogenic is what other people say to you. And this is where a lot of people's balls and chains have come from the past. When we do the courses with people and they start to look at this, then, you know, teachers, parents, first bosses, there's all sorts of people that come to mind who've told you can't do something or given you negative support in the past. And it's just stopped you, and your brain's just written it off. No, can't do it, so that's it. and people have never gone back to it. So think about what people are saying at the moment. Think about the negative people you have in your life. And again, just try and get rid of them for a bit. Getting rid of negative people doesn't mean you hate them. It just means you're more important right now. Okay, so surrounding yourself with positive people is really, really important. So a few more of the tips there. Stop listening to every news report. So much of the news at the moment is negative. Yes, we need to know what's going on, but you only need to watch the news once a day to find that, really. If you start watching the news all day, you're going to get sucked into everything that's going on and all the things that you can't do anything about. Stop reading every negative online post. As I said before, if you've got negative people coming through, get rid of them for 30 days. Let's get them out and keep as much stuff as positive as you can. Listen and watch some fun stuff. So give yourself a break, let's have a bit of fun and a bit of a smile every now and again. And if you are working in the office and you're just doing things on, writing or planning, then, a bit of a background music doesn't do any harm. Have a break every now and again, watch a funny film, etc. Anything you can do just to keep that mindset positive is always going to be really, really good. Now, the next thing you can also do is affirmations. I don't know if any of you have ever come across affirmations, but these are key things that psychologists found that people can use and can really, really work. And it's about saying these out loud so your brain gets the action from it. Okay, so the more you say these, the more your brain is taking it in. Okay, and because we're saying it out, it goes back into the brain. And these have been proven over time by lots of different people to work. And all it is pick your favorite ones, and it's just say it 3 times to yourself each morning, before you go to bed, whenever you want to do it. Before you go into a meeting, however it works for you. But they're really good. I know it looks silly when you're during a traffic jam and everybody's sitting around you and you're shouting things out, nobody knows what you're saying, it looks like you're talking to yourself, but it can be really useful. So things like, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself, I know something wonderful is going to happen to me today. Different things like that, just affirmations that can really get you going. Sounds a bit silly at first when you start them, but trust me, they work. They work, they really can, and they can really make a difference to you. And the self-ideal. So role models are really useful. So I want you to think about, who are the role models that you have in life? Famous people, members of family, it doesn't matter. But whoever they are, when you've got a problem, when you've got issues or you're thinking about what to do, it's always useful. Well, what would my role model do? What would they do in this situation? And think about what they would do and see if that will help you to come up with a way that you want to work. Because those shared values that they have and you have are really useful to have and to work on. So role models, something to have a think about. Have a think about, who are your role models, and what would they do in certain situations. 80% of beliefs are false. Just say that again to you. So, we are talking to ourselves in such a negative way most of the time at the moment, and we need to really get ourselves over that. So try and be more positive as often as we can. 21 days to change your neural groove, 21 days to form a habit. So if you keep doing this, positive talking to yourself, positive visualization for yourself for 21 days, it's going to make a difference. That's your action. That's your kinesthetic action, is get on and do it. So I want you to tell everyone at home that you're challenging yourself to be more positive, and you want them to point out when you say something negative or when you have a moan to yourself. Okay, and go, you said that you were not negative. It's really good for the kids to listen out for you, because they're the best ones at it. They'll always pick up on it. But just try and get yourself talking positively, thinking positively, and working positively. The more you do that, the more you'll get out of this situation at the moment and in the future as well. This isn't just something we can do now. This is something that will carry on. I want you to take this with you. So a very brief, quick introduction to some of the mindset stuff there. If you do want to know any more, then, you can give me a ring, give me an email, and we can have a chat. If anyone's looking for some coaching or other work over the time, you can do that. And I'm also going to start doing bookings for when we get back to normal with people who are working in businesses who've got teams, etc. Because getting back to work is going to be a big shift as well. You know, when we get back to normal and we're all back in the office, then we're going to have to do a bit of a review about what's happened, where we are, how we're going to move forward, get everyone back in the right mindset and things again as well. So I want to make sure that we can try and do that. So if I can help you in any way, then please let me know. I'm going to do as much as I can for you.